Can the limited mind of humans understand the grandness of God? A lot of us think that we're arrogant enough to be able to. And I just like to think about timelessness. Humans cannot understand time. We can't. It's impossible. If we had a string going from here to there and it had a bunch of little knots all the way down, and each one of those knots represented 1,000,000 years, which we still can't wrap our minds around, we go, oh, wow, I don't understand that. And then you stretch it all the way across the cosmos. You just don't get it. We can't get it. And there are 1,000,000 names for God: Yahweh, Jesus, Allah, and countless other ones. And God is not a name, it's a label. Like, we don't even know what God's name is. I think it's strange. It's kind of strange. It's just the arrogance of man trying to make sense out of what we cannot make sense of. It's impossible. It is truly impossible for us to understand infinity. We can't do it. Our minds are limited, and they're limited, I think, it seems to be, for a purpose. We've been given so many gifts of especially critical thinking, and gratitude. And that's what's obvious. Like, we can't pinpoint exactly what God is, but we can pinpoint what's right in front of us in our day-to-day life. We can pinpoint the anxiety, the fear, and the worry we all get. Like, we all get those things, right? And most of us deal with it by getting high blood pressure and getting stressed out. Oh God, my life is over, I'm gonna pay these bills, all this stuff. Just try this, because the infinite gave us this body, right? So why not thank him for those feelings? Like, when we get super stressed out, just try it, because it works. Just say thank you. Just stop and go, man, thank you for this high anxiety. And watch how it starts to melt away. Like, it really does. And every time I forget to do that, I am reminded, because I can feel myself getting anxious or in a bad mood or worked up, or I'm like, all right, thank you. Thanks. And it just goes away, like sadness, depression, loneliness. We've all had that. When you start to thank your emotions for showing up and reminding you that you are alive, I am able to experience this sadness. Thank you. I have gratitude for it. It makes a huge difference just saying thank you. Thank you to everything. Thank you for Wayne's double arm hug today. Thank you for y'all coming and hugging me the second you walked up to me. Like, thanks. I met him and he had a big smile. Like, every single thing we do, we should have a big bunch of thanks for. I texted Steve the other day, and I was really in a place of a lot of deep mental thought. And I said, man, and my first Steve popped into my head. I was like, man, can't wait to see you tomorrow. I really want to hug Steve. Steve says, I'll be there. That is he probably didn't realize I was stressed out, but I was. I was like, thanks. It makes a huge difference. It's one of the tools the Creator has given us. And I'd say another big amazing tool is this place. Any place, it doesn't have to be here, any place where you can go where you're not judged, where you're not, look at your Sunday clothes. Oh, you don't fit in here. I heard you were a little slut before. You're not welcome here. There are a lot of places like that. I've been to them and I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel like I could go into a lot of churches and throw my shoes off and walk around barefooted, or go walk in the grass and earth and connect to Mother Nature. I just never have felt that anywhere besides here. But there are a lot of places like this, and they're popping up around the country and around the world, where you can express ideas, where we can banter back and forth, because nobody knows for sure if you're right about anything. We got to have safe places to explore ideas. And I do have to pause. If y'all have not seen, and I got to pause and tell y'all thanks. The audiobook is out. It continues to do well. And I just really want to thank everybody that's buying it. But I do realize that only about less than 0.5% of people leave reviews. And I know a lot of y'all watching and a lot of y'all here. Just leave a review, please. Can everybody just go do that? It makes a big difference, and I appreciate it. And Tim Freak was on today's, I I interviewed him last week, and wow, what an interview. I watched it again this morning. Jeez, that was great. I hope y'all would enjoy it. So that was it for that. Let's get back to it. I think we should practice with our critical thinking. Like, what is in front of us? Like, what has the infinite, the universal energies, God, would it make sense for us to have better friendships? Would it make sense for us to smile at our friends? Like, I see Kyle a lot walking in, and it occurs to me that not every day, not every time he walks in, I don't greet him with like a more of a smile or like, hey, Kyle. Because I'm just engrossed in whatever the heck I'm doing at my desk. Doesn't stop me, doesn't stop my routine or anything, just to look up for a second and go, hey man, good to see you. But I end up catching myself a little too late, but I'm getting better and better and better at it. And that is part of what God has given us, the ability to look at ourselves and go, hey, am I being a douchebag? You know, am I? I don't know. Sometimes you need good friends to call you out. Like, you need them. And that's part of what we do here. It's just important. I think God wants us to connect with our friends better and be better friends. It's important. We need each other, and especially with this crazy world that we just happen to live in. We just do. Like, coming here, like, just now that the weather's getting better, we can take our families out on walks, come out here and have picnics, come spend the night. Do all of it. Exchange ideas. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world, is to sit around with a bunch of people and talk about ideas. I've done it my whole life and I love it, especially over a cigar, because I believe cigars are magical. My dreams and ambitions and desires, they go into the universe, and I feel like it boomerangs back to me. And it has so far in my life. That's why I'm not going to stop. You know, we can appreciate the land. You know, we take for granted, especially people that live in the city, our whole sustenance, our life comes from the ground. It comes from the cows. That's why I encourage everybody, slow down, stop, say thanks to the cows. We just are eating the cows today. They're becoming a part of our body. Would we rather have a fast food hamburger or something from the grocery store where the cows were in a horrible life? They have all that anxiety and stress, and then we put all that crap inside of us. But here, you got some happy cows. Like, they're happy. Like, they're walking around like, what's up, dude? You about to feed me? You know, like, they're happy. And then you're putting that energy into your body. Like, we should be aware of that. Yes. Isn't that part of what's being alive? Like, we're alive. Those trees are alive. I heard somebody say a really ignorant thing the other day. Like, I don't understand these tree huggers. Man, just go hug a tree and tell it thanks. Tell that tree thanks, because you are living a life because of that tree. We're giving that tree food by me just talking. And in turn, it's giving us oxygen. Is it people put these political labels on everybody now for no reason. Well, sometimes there's a reason. But are you a liberal tree-hugging hippie weirdo for going to hug a tree? Hell no, you're not. You're a human being. You're a human being being appreciative of life. Just life. Celebrate it. Love it. Enjoy the blueprint of God that's like right in front of our face. Go take your shoes off and walk barefooted, roll in the grass. Be a kid. Just be a kid. We have to love ourselves. You know, we have this bodily temple, and this thing is really weird. You know, I mean, our bodies are strange. It's mostly space. It's mostly water. And we have this disconnect between our mind and our bodies. And we forget that God has given us the ability to talk ourselves into go walking. You know, like, oh, I don't feel like it. I'm going to sit here and watch the next episode of I'm a Dumbass. You know, like that's what I'm going to go do, you know? So instead of saying, hey, I got some stuff on my mind. Let me call Nate, see where he's at. Maybe we'll go walk down the riverfront or something. Maybe whatever. Maybe I'll just go take my dog on a walk around the block. Maybe I'll come out here to the Mystics and I'll just go walk around, find a place to have a picnic with my kid. You know, move. Just move. We have it. Why wouldn't we use it? It seems like, because we can't know the mind of God, it seems like God gave us this to kind of move around. Like to hug each other, to walk, to dance, to put your beautiful wife in your arms and dip her down and kiss her. Like that is what we're here to do. And Noah's mom is awesome. Thank you, Noah. That's my wife's son there. If he shaves, he looks just like her. You know, by taking care of our bodies, it does include, it includes what we put into them. I was thinking the other day when I was writing this, having a metaphor of, we know mostly what's good for our bodies, right? Like I've had Jacob, my buddy, I've asked him, don't let me order onion rings because he works at the petroleum club where I go all the time. Don't let me get onion rings. If you're my friend, don't let me get them. So now he doesn't let me get them. I was irritated by it at first, even though I'm the one who asked him to do it. And I even asked him once, I think I want onion rings. He goes, no, because he's my buddy. I know better. And that's why you need friends. You need friends. So the metaphor was, if I know what's good for my body, I also know what's good for my car. I'm not going to go pour diesel into my gasoline engine. I know that's not going to work. I know I'm not going to get a handful of sand when I'm running low and go and pouring it into the gas tank thinking, oh, well, this sand might make it go. Or pouring pond water into my car. Like, that's not how our bodies are made. Like, so we're filling our bodies full of crap and expecting it to run at optimal speed. Like, that's what we're doing as a complete society. And we know better. That's why we need groups like this and friends to say, hey, man, Kev, you're not eating that onion ring. Like, I really appreciated it. Or if I wanted something else bad, I did steal an onion ring off of Daryl's plate, though. But, you know, yeah. That's why you need friends. We need to communicate. You know, most people communicate to God by praying and meditating. That's how most people do it. Some people just walk and talk to themselves. Some people, there's a million ways to do it. A million ways. But I like to think about, because we like to peg God as this one thing. You know, God is my Allah. Allah is my Jesus. Or in my mind, God is over all of those things. And in my mind, he thinks we're silly for trying to label him. Like I just feel that. I just like, he has to be up there going, or anywhere, all around us. Hey, no matter what name you give me, I'm still the same dude. I'm Kevin. Y'all can call me whatever you want. I'm still this guy. Now, you can call me anything you want, but I'm still me. I'm still me. And I think about it in these terms. Let's say everybody in here, we were all from let's say India, and we're all Hindus. And we all have our little dot on our head, and we're all doing Hindu stuff. So if we're praying and we're wanting to connect to God and meditating, would we be really freaked out if all of a sudden in our prayers and meditations, instead of Krishna or Ganesh coming to see us, it is Jesus? Like, that might shock us. We're like, oh God, what is that? Or if we're Christian and all of a sudden Krishna and Ganesh came out instead of Jesus, that'd probably just shock us a lot. Be like, what is happening here? So does it seem reasonable that God would talk to us in a language that we would understand? You know, like, wouldn't it make sense that people that are accustomed to Christianity, God would talk to them in those terms? Wouldn't it make sense if they're used to that thing, because you just don't want to, you know, you don't want to scare your buddy. You don't want to scare your son. You don't want to scare your daughter. You don't want to freak them out. You just want to let them know you're here for them. Like, that makes reasonable sense to me. I don't know if God does it that way, but it seems like he does. It does. I don't know. That's why we're here, to exchange ideas, to try to figure out this thing of life. Just try to figure it out. Like, one of the things that seems most reasonable to me ever is to talk to yourself. Like, do y'all talk to yourselves? Boys, if y'all don't talk to yourselves right now, like all the time, start doing it. Like, whenever you think you're about to do something stupid, just start asking yourself, man, do I really need to funnel this beer? The answer is always no. It's always no. You're like, just don't do that. It's true. And whatever is upsetting you, whenever you feel like you're all anxious, and you like can't sleep or whatever, just start talking to yourself and recognizing, hey, this feeling is here for a reason. Thank you. Hey, Nate, remember, thank it. Thank those feelings. We have ears. We should talk to ourselves. We can send it out and allow it to come back. We can. Does it make any sense to have war? I said I meant to have war or peace. But when you look at a lot of the religious texts around the world, including the Old Testament, especially the Old Testament and New Testament, a lot of war, a lot of death and destruction. A lot of death and destruction. But I'm not sure. That's not my God. I don't believe my God wants a lot of death and destruction. But at the same time, the yin and yang. Can Wayne understand what it is to be happy if he has never been fully sad? You have nothing to measure it by. If you haven't been totally broke, do you really understand what it is when you are rich? If you've had bad health, or say you've had good health, you've only had good health, you don't know what it's like to have bad health. You take it for granted until you get really sick. And then the sicker you are, the less you can move, and you get rehabilitated, you are way more thankful for that health than you were before, because you have something to measure it by. I don't know if God wants war, but it sure is a big measurement stick. How do you understand peace and love if you don't have hate and destruction? I don't know. It's perplexing to me. But I do know it's a measuring stick. Is it in our ancestral DNA? Because right now, and since World War II, this country and many other ones applaud war. We applaud it. We can't wait to send our baby boys into war. Can't wait. Look at my hero baby boy who splattered all over that other tank. It's what we do now, like right now. I'm just not sure that's the measuring stick we want. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments. And what about when good people do nothing? We've all heard that, right? When bad stuff happens when good people do nothing. Zero. But we all feel so alone. Like we're just one person sitting on the end of the seesaw. What are we going to do? When we accept violence, we get more violence. When we accept our rights being taken away, we get no freedom. When we don't stand up to bullies, we get more bullies. Every time. If the little brave kid in the schoolyard didn't just pop that bully in the jaw, that bully would kept bullying everybody. It just takes a bully one time to get a little slapped and embarrassed, and normally they just stop. You don't stand up to bullies, they just keep going. If we tolerate disrespect, we get more disrespect. I believe one of the tools that we have are boundaries. I have boundaries. I have a lot of boundaries. I don't want anybody to be mean to my buddy. I don't want Jacob to reach over there and pop Nate in the back of the head because Nate was being a smartass. Like I want him to talk it out a little bit. Hey man, I'm sorry. I don't want Steve to get mad at me if I didn't show up for coffee because I was too busy last week. We want to talk about it. I want to set some boundaries. Hey, if I'm going to be late, I'm going to let you know. We need boundaries. I don't want my wife to, I hope she would never go out and just have a bunch of infidelities. That would kind of bother me. I'd be like, pretty sure I don't like that. That would suck. That's a boundary. Her boundary probably is that I need to be nice and respectful of her children, which I am. I mean, Noah doesn't count, but I mean, everybody else, for sure. It's important. I was thinking the other day, is God sleeping or does God want us to take a nap? It's kind of funny. I just had this vision of Jesus taking a nap on a cloud. And to my amazement, I asked AI to give me a picture of it, and he did. And I was like, oh, that is great. If we take a nap, what happens? Like if we do nothing. If we do nothing, we get more corruption like we have now. We get more debt. We recently did a presentation on, you can't wrap your mind around what $1 trillion is what we get thrown around a lot. We hear that number all the time. And Just for y'all at home to have a imaginary visual, if you have $1 billion, it goes up a little more than a half a mile. Stacking $100 bills. Goes up about half a mile. That's about as tall as the tallest building in the world. If you have $1 trillion, it goes 631 miles high. It goes above the space station. Significantly higher than the space station. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. If we can't even understand $1 trillion, how do we think we can be so arrogant that we know God? That we know the details? Like we believe somebody, hey, I just wrote down the whole mind of God. Yeah, I'm going to take off running from that dude. Just going to let you know. See ya. It's interesting to me, this whole thing, this whole life. It's just interesting, huh? This is what happens whenever good people do stuff. Even with all his flaws and his infidelities, he wanted to do some things to change this world. He wanted to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces. He wanted to end central banks that dominate and control our money. He verbally expressed it many, many, many times. He said he wanted to end secret societies, and he said it a lot. He said that a lot. How about RFK? He wanted the same thing. If y'all are ever familiar with his famous mafia, when he was a senator, he did all sorts of big boss Jimmy Hoffa stuff and trying to dismantle just corruption. And he wanted to bring more peace. What about Martin Luther King? Man, I love this guy. Like, I love Martin Luther King. And why? Judge a man by his character, the content of his character. Not because he's white, black, Mexican, Indian. Doesn't matter what the hell they are. Their character. Judge a man by the content of his character. And equal rights under the law. Because man is not equal. We are not equal. I am more physically fit than a lot of men. But I'm not equal to the ones that are more physically fit than me. And the ones that are not as physically fit as me aren't equal to me in the physicalities. Same way intellectually, same way spiritually, same way with money. The idea of being equal is that we're equally treated under the law. We're going to equally treat each other with respect and dignity when we show each other that we're all worth it. I love that guy. What did all these guys have to say so far? That they just want peace and love. We got this idea. If y'all don't know who Malcolm X is or heard very little, Denzel Washington did a it was a phenomenal performance, and it was pretty damn accurate. If you want to see how the human can evolve and become a better human being, know Malcolm X. He was a thug, a drug dealer, a pimp. He goes on to go to prison. He discovers Islam. He becomes a crazy radical. By any means necessary, the white man is the devil. Then he goes off to a pilgrimage, and he starts praying and meditating with every race, whites. He thought the white man was literally the devil. And he came back and said, man, I was wrong. Wrong. He really adopted the same understanding of MLK. I am going to love a person for their character, their content of their character, not for what they look like. That's a big, big deal. And then old Gandhi, he wanted nonviolence. He wanted nonviolence, but they gave him violence. And the reason I'm mentioning all of these people, because whenever we do have these wonderful people that are big names and they're promoting peace and love, and let's have real understanding and real communication, they get killed. They're dead. You want to promote a lot of peace and love in this world, and you want to promote judging a person by the content of their character? Well, we are the country that's going to put you to death. That is a fact. It has been demonstrated nonstop, damn near since our inception. And I love this country. I mean, I love it. But just like all of us individually, we all have some flaws. And we can all come together and make things better if we just came together, if we came to places like this, where we can express ideas in peace. Like, if Wayne has an idea, we're not going to argue over Wayne's personality or Wayne, you're a dumbass. You know, I'm going to start calling you names. No, we can have reasonable, respectful arguments about the idea, not the person. You could do that. And we need to practice that. In this country, I highly recommend everybody do some history. We just like to overtake people and take everybody's stuff. We like to take their lives. Iran nationalized their oil. Jacob's practically in the oil business. He's around old guys all day. We thought we didn't want them to have their own oil. No, you can't have that. We're going to take it. We're going to kill all of you. United Fruit Company. Y'all can't have your own fruit. We're not going to let y'all feed yourself. What are you talking about? Die. Same way. The list goes on forever. But because we stay unaware, we purposefully are told it's just shit that isn't true. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. But there are a lot of solutions, guys. A lot. We can pray together. We can meditate together. We can walk in nature together. We can just laugh like kids. We can tell each other jokes. We can cry. We can just cry. Hell, I can't count how many times either me or Ricky has just had a tear in her eye walking down the street, and then like, oh, well, shit, let me hug Ricky. And then next thing I know, we're both fucking in tears, and then we got to go. It's happened a lot. We can reach out to our friends more. We can connect with each other more. Like this group, whether like today it's a little smaller than normal, but we can reach out to each other. We can keep a list of the people that we know we're thinking similarly, to expand our knowledge, to expand our understanding, to work on our bodies, to try to connect to God the best way we can. And we can just call each other. Just text them. Have your list. Oh, damn, I forgot to reach out to Nate, or whoever. I forgot to say something to Noah. I forgot to do something. It's just pretty simple because we get so selfish in an unhealthy way, in a real unhealthy way. We are all getting together. People at home, y'all sticking together this long. Well, by the time you see this, I don't even know why I have this slide up because this will be over by the time you see this. We got together. We'll do it again. Just stay tuned. Ha ha, you missed out. If this resonates with y'all come out. We get together every Sunday at 1:15. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And let's just try to be better human beings.